You're watching Twin Tier Sunday with Jennifer Sheahen.
Welcome to Twin Tier Sunday. I'm your host, Jennifer Sheahen. We all know what summertime in the Finger Lakes means, getting out and enjoying the outdoors. And for us adults, it means having a cool, relaxing beverage. Well, all along Seneca Lake, there are wineries, breweries, and distilleries. Today, we get a behind-the-scenes look at 3 of those, and we're going to start right here at Glendora Wine Cellars. So we are on our first stop, and we're here at Glendora Wine Cellar. And Jean, tell me a little bit about Glendora's history, because it is such a beautiful place. So when you're on the wine trail, this is definitely somewhere you're going to want to stop.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying it's a beautiful place. We're very, very proud of it. Glendora was founded, myself and 3 other gentlemen founded Glendora in 1977. And that made it the first winery on Seneca Lake. So if you can think back that many years ago, close to 40 now, we were one winery. There were no other wineries. There were no distilleries. There were no breweries. Actually, there were no restaurants, and very, very, very few lodging facilities.
That is absolutely crazy. So why then did you guys start on this journey and build and build and build?
At the time, we were selling a lot of our grapes to the larger wineries, and that industry was really beginning to transition. And we saw some opportunities as a result of legislation that had been passed. So consequently, kind of took a leap of faith and started Glendora. And then over the years, we began to see other opportunities. We were having more and more visitors. We expanded the winery. We knew that people were looking for places to eat, so we built a small restaurant with the expansion. And then in 1998-99, we again recognized that more and more people were coming into the area, looking for places to stay, and so consequently we built the Inn at Leonora, which is a 30-room inn and a 125-seat restaurant. And it's been very, very successful. It's truly a unique property in that it's the only one of its kind in the Finger Lakes where you can actually come to a winery with a restaurant, with a lodging facility, and as you can tell, or anyone can tell, we're set in a very beautiful vineyard location. So it truly is a unique property.
Definitely. And I guess, what is your most popular wine? Let's start with that one, then also your oldest wine that you make.
Well, our most popular wine here in terms of volume and cases that we sell would be our Riesling. And that's when we were up above earlier, that's what we were bottling right now. Oldest wine probably would be, Riesling would be in that category, but also another variety that we're very proud of is the variety Cayuga. Cayuga was developed by Cornell University and started in the late 1940s. It actually was named in 1972, and we were the first winery in the United States to release it as a varietal wine in 1977.
That's absolutely, that's great. And it really is a good wine. It's so special to this area. We have such a staple here on the taste that comes out of this region. And as far as the inn here, you said there are about 30 rooms. How far in advance do you think people need to be booking if they want to stay?
Well, that would depend on the time of year. In the wintertime, unfortunately, for us anyway, they wouldn't need to book very early. But during the high season, the peak season, which is basically from May through the end of October, people want to be looking probably 2 or 3 months out, particularly if they're looking for weekends. Weekends in the Finger Lakes are just absolutely busy.
Yeah, that's very true. And another big thing that you guys have here, I know a lot of people like to have their weddings here. Is that true?
Yes, we have a lot of weddings. Last year, well, I should say this coming year, 45 weddings, and it's a pretty concentrated season. And generally, they start in May and then end about the end of October. The Finger Lakes is becoming a destination wedding area because it's so beautiful. The limiting factor sometimes is the weather, and particularly with the winter months. So when we're having 45 weddings in our season, sometimes it's 2 and possibly 3 weddings a weekend.
There you go. So it's a very, very busy place. So if you're out and you want to stop on the wine trail here on Seneca Lake, definitely stop here. It's the oldest one here. They've got a lot to offer. You can have got lunch and everything like that as well. So thank you so much, Gene. We're now going to actually go see how some of those bottles get packed and ready to go out for sale.
1977 edition of the Glendora wine cellars. This was our first building that we built, and actually Glendora was the first, and at the time obviously being first, the only winery on Seneca Lake. Today I believe there's well over 60 surrounding the lake, as well as seems like to me a plethora of breweries, cheeseries, distilleries, all of which are really great for this particular area. We can walk around over here, and we're now in the 1988 edition. Leonora was very fortunate with tourism and our wine sales that we were able to expand quite significantly, going from about a 7,000 to 8,000 case winery up through the early 80s, and then in 1988 we built this edition, which gives us a capacity of almost 40,000 cases. What's happening right now, and we can walk through. Sheahen is filtering wine. We're in a process today of bottling dry Riesling. So the wine comes out of one of the big tanks. This is the one of the last processes that the wine goes through. We're filtering it and to take out any yeast that may still be in the wine, and then it's being transferred over to our bottling line. While we are going through the area, point out the actually three concrete egg-shaped tanks that we have. My partner Scott Welliver and myself were visiting France about 3 years ago, and at the time we saw these tanks and decided that we would like to bring one back to the United States, which we did, and then a year later we brought the larger one in from California. And to the best of my knowledge, we're one of the only, if not the only, New York State winery that actually is fermenting wines in concrete tanks that are egg-shaped. So now we'll move into the bottling area. We're going a little bit noisy in here, but what we're bottling today is Dry Riesling. It's our 2014 Dry Riesling. As the bottles go down the line, the first stage is where they're being sparged with nitrogen gas. And then, why it always stops when you don't want to. Then what we're doing is putting a little bit of gas in the bottle that displaces the oxygen. From there, the bottles are being filled. And then we're coming over and we're putting a solvent closure on the bottle, which is actually a screw cap. This is something that the wine industry seems to be moving towards, a little bit away from the traditional cork finish. From there, the bottles come around to the labeling machine. And both a front and back label are put on a bottle. Then down to our hands-on inspection station, just making sure that all the bottles are labeled properly and so forth.
Welcome back. We are now on stop 2 of our tour of a few different places on Seneca Lake. We are now at a distilling place. Now, go ahead, Brian, and tell me all about Finger Lakes Distilling because it is a pretty cool place.
Yeah, we're kind of unique here on the wine trail. We've been doing this for about 7 years now, but we focus exclusively on distilled spirits. So things like vodkas and gins and whiskeys, so those kinds of products.
Definitely. And how did this all get started? Because when you think of, the wine trail, obviously you're going to go all these different wineries, but this is definitely a different experience when you come here.
Yeah, we're trying to provide a pretty unique experience for people. We started the business with the idea that really there's nothing like this in the region, but a lot of the people that were out enjoying the local wines might like some whiskey or cordials or something like that. So that was kind of the idea behind it. We are a farm distillery, so we're utilizing local grains and fruit in all of our products.
That's absolutely wonderful. And obviously Mackenzie is your last name, so I'm guessing you started all of this whiskey here that's named after you, so and your family, right?
Well, there's some debate over that because we have a master distiller who also has the last name Mackenzie, but is not related to us. So he'll tell you one thing and I'll tell you another. But yeah, that's our core brand, the Mackenzie whiskeys. We also make a gin under that brand.
That's absolutely wonderful. So I guess that is your most popular selling thing as well, correct?
It is. It's our most popular here in the tasting room, but also in the other markets that we do business. We're currently selling our products in 6 different states. A lot of business down in New York City for us, that kind of thing.
And then any other things? I know you guys have grappa as well.
We do, yeah. Grappa's kind of an interesting one. Not everybody enjoys that kind of spirit, but we try to have something for everybody. And we also make some nice fruit liqueurs that aren't quite as strong and are made using the local fruit. So now we're down in our warehouse building. This is also where we do our bottling. We have a bottling line that's really everything's done by hand. The spirit is fed down into a tank here in the corner, and then we have various fillers and ways to put the capsules on and that kind of thing. So generally have 4 or 5 people helping out with the bottling when we're doing a bottling run.
Then how much has this expanded since you first started?
We've expanded quite a bit. We started with just the primary distillery building, and we put up this 2,600 square feet warehouse a couple years ago. We've added an additional still, and now we're soon to break ground on a 5,000 square foot dedicated barrel house. So this is my favorite area in the property. This is our barrel house, current barrel house anyways. So most of the process can be done in just a couple days, but we do need to age our products. Most of our products, the aged whiskeys and brandies, and that's the part that takes the longest. So we let the spirit sit down here in these American oak barrels for anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Some may even hang out a little bit longer than that. And what's going on is just that spirit that we've made is interacting with the oak and really changing the taste profile considerably, really letting it kind of mellow out and get that nice dark color and also some new flavor profiles.
And when can people stop by?
We're open every day, 11 to 5. We do tastings here at the bar. We do a big educational component to our business. So we have Saturday morning tours at 11 a.m. and people can sign up for those online.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. All right. We'll see you right after the break. We go to our last stop. It's a brewery and it's a new one, so you're not going to want to miss it. We are now at our last stop, and it is the Grist Brewery, and this place is by far one of my favorite places to go to now on Seneca Lake. It is honestly, if you are from this area, it's a place to come relax and feel like a local person and have nice food. There's music, there's all kinds of different things that they offer. Now go ahead and tell me about how Grist got started, because it's a fairly new establishment here on the lake.
We actually opened May 1st. We got started with a guy I know, Bill Allington, who's one of my partners. Him and Scott Barber, our other partner, decided they wanted to do something. Bought the entire resort, Seneca Springs Resort, and decided they wanted to build a microbrewery on it, which is where I came into the picture because of my experience brewing, not commercially, but I've done a lot of brewing at home for 10 years, and I think it's every home brewer's dream to do something like this. So over the last year, we planned and built, and it's all come to fruition here.
It's absolutely incredible. So it's just one little dream, and honestly, you guys have a few different facilities. Like you said, you bought this whole entire property. So what is on the property?
There is, down behind us, up past the barn, is the big yellow building, is the inn. And then up on the hill behind the brewery is the lodge. It's all part of, it used to be Seneca Springs Resort. It's now transitioning to the inn at Grist. There's all kinds of rooms, suites available. It's your typical bed and breakfast. The rooms are a little bit nicer than your usual bed and breakfast. They almost have a hotel room suite type feel to them, but with the charm of a bed and breakfast. Breakfast obviously in the mornings, 9 o'clock, which is supposed to be pretty good. I've never actually had it. It's people rave about it. Then of course we have the microbrewery here on the facility, on the property, it's kind of we have a whole thing going on here.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Minus the spa.
Minus the spa. Like, there's a pond. You can jump in there, I guess, if you really want.
Exactly.
And then what is special about your beer? Because, everybody's kind of got their niche. So what, I guess, is the niche of this beer in general?
I'm more of a traditional English style brewer. So if your beer doesn't taste quite as carbonated as you like it to be, it's probably because that's the way I intended it. My feeling is that if I wanted a soda, I'll drink a soda. Beer shouldn't be as carbonated as a soda, but that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own. And I try to take, traditional ales and throw a little twist on them here and there. And I like to do things a wide variety of things, so there's something for everybody. You might like 2 of the beers, but you might not like 4 of the other ones, and that's fine. If there's something you like, that's my goal, is to have something that, at least one beer that everybody can like.
Absolutely incredible. And now you guys also have amazing food here. I came, I think, twice already for their pizza here. So can you tell me a little bit about your chef that's here?
The chef is Alex Brown. I've known Alex since we were in kindergarten. Alex has a pretty vast experience, starting at Bernie Murray's in Elmira washing dishes. He was executive chef at Maxie's Supper Club in Ithaca. He's gone to the Culinary Institute. He's worked at the Palms in Elmira. He's the last 5 years, I believe, he's worked for Wegmans. And we did a beer pairing dinner here that he was gracious enough to help me out with and do the cooking for. And I never thought there was any chance that we would get him to work here, but it worked out, and we're lucky to have him. He's a talented guy, creative guy. Couldn't be happier with who we have.
Definitely. And every Saturday you guys have a special barbecue as well, is that right?
We do. Bill, our partner, co-owner, he loves to cook outside, so it's his thing. We have the tent set up over here with his grill and everything, and whether it's Speedies or last weekend we had pulled pork, we've done sausage, peppers, and onions. There's always something to do outside here. The weather's perfect, the patio's nice. It just goes well with the patio, the band's playing, the smell of the food out here. We'd like to have a whole experience for people. If you're sick of eating the pizza every day when you're up here, we've got something different on the weekends that you can have. So it's nice. It's a nice thing to do.
It's really nice, and like I said, you're just not just coming here and tasting and leaving. This is definitely a place where you can come, sit on the lake, enjoy and relax. And what other plans do you guys have for the future, or what do you guys see yourself, in a few years expanding, or what would you like to add to the place as well?
Boy, I don't know what we could add to the place. It's as big can be. We've talked about doing some things, whether it be a pavilion out here behind the building for music type things, a bigger area for bands to play in. We have the old barn back behind us here, which we've had 9 million thoughts about what we could do besides a big outdoor pavilion, a stage for bands, things like that. We're kind of just feeling our way through it. We've been open 7 to 8 weeks now. Who knows what the next year is going to bring with us. We're more than likely going to start bottling our beer in the fall. so that it'll be available for, you're on the wine trail. People are used to coming and buying bottles of wine, cases of wine, things like that. So you want to be able to contribute to that type of mindset where people come in, they want to, we have growlers, but people want to buy bottles. They want to buy 6-packs, things like that to take with them. So that'll be something that'll come in, in the next few months.
There you go. And your hours are great too, because after work you can come down here because they're open late. What are your hours?
We are open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 to 11, and then Sundays, noon to 10.
There you go. So they have extended hours for you guys. And like I said, it is just so relaxing to come out here and sit. So thank you so much for showing us around.
Thanks for coming.
That's right. Thank you so much. And make sure you come on down. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Twin Tiers Sunday. Get out there and enjoy the summer because you know it's not going to last forever. That's it for now. I'll see you next week. Make sure you tune into Twin Tiers Sunday. This week we head up to Seneca Lake to enjoy this summer weather and get a behind-the-scenes look at a brewery, a distillery, and a winery. Make sure you tune in.